Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Davston and thank you for joining me for this weekly overview of the I Ching for the week commencing the 15th of August 2022. Looking back to last week, we had full permission to step into our power, to understand our power and to wield it for good, and doing it with strategy. Wherever we wanted to push too far ahead without thinking, without planning, without having a strategy, that would be where we got unstuck. So where in your life, in your business this past week, did you become aware where strategy was a way that your power could really be turned on, and how we could open ourselves up to this approach of spring that I spoke about, this arrival of new energy and new beginnings that we perhaps don't yet understand, and our task is just to be open to it and to welcome what comes. So please do share a comment if there's something that came to you this week around your power and around welcoming the spring symbolically into your life. Right, this week, what is the I Ching asking us to pay attention to? And I had this thought this week to remind us that when we work with these weekly hexagrams and our changing lines, what's coming to us is it's bringing our focus to something specific. Remember, our question every week and every month is the same. Please advise I Ching Cafe followers what to focus on for the week, for the month. So it's a question of focus. So what tends to happen with these hexagrams and the way that I work with them is I use them to help kind of zoom in on a particular issue that is attuned to that hexagram. It doesn't mean that an event related to that hexagram drops just in that week. It's how, a little bit of an image pops out of the matrix and gets our attention, right? And we work with that particular thing and then it dissolves and reintegrates back into our consciousness. And that's how I see it. The process being one of where our attention is tuned to and what we're being asked to work with. So this week, let us have a look. Our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 60, limitation. Don't we all love a little bit of limitation or some boundaries? Not. Okay, so if we look at the hexagram structure, the top trigram or the top three-lined image is water. And the bottom three-line image or trigram is lake. What do we have when we have water pouring into a full lake? Oh, chaos. So we have had this hexagram many times before, and it talks about the necessity of putting in place limitations of some kind, boundaries of some kind. You remember me, if you've been with this hexagram before, that I talk about the idea of a dam and a dam management structure as a symbol, as a story to help us understand this hexagram. Because what a dam does is we have a river pouring down, it's contained into the lake, and we have a team of very professional, competent, trained people who then manage and control the sluice gates and control the flow of water. And of course, now we have technology doing that too. And so what we do is we release water out into the river below through the dam wall in very controlled systemic processes, right? We don't just open the sluice gates, all right, because absolute destruction can be the result of all this water hemmed in by the dam wall or hemmed in by the structure of the lake. So this week, our attention, what's popping in out of the matrix, okay, for us to pay attention to, is where we are needing some healthy limits and structures, the dam wall and the team, to help us manage the potential downfall or the potential side effects of too much flow. Okay, so if you feel busy at the moment and you feel like water's pumping into the lake, okay, that might be where you are needing to pay attention to. Wherever you're in a position where you are a little exposed to the risk, because water symbolizes this flow, this uncertainty of flow and risk. Wherever we are exposed to that, what it can do is bloop, just be the last thing that just fills that glass up to that lip and sends it over the edge, or fills that dam and causes damage as the water flows over the side. Look to that part of your life, of your business, where things are too full or you're missing some good, healthy structures to contain and manage the sluice gates of water flowing through your system, through your business, through your life, through your team. Okay. This is not the week where we say yes to expansive and new projects. It's where we put in place structures to manage what's on the table already. So we have one changing line this week in the 6th position, right at the top. What is culminating? What is reaching its fullness? And it's a really interesting changing line because it says limitations have now become so intense and so hardcore that they are now damaging others and damaging what we're trying to build. Okay, so what we're now needing to do is actually limit the restrictive and severe limitations we are trying to limit on other people. Okay, restrictions and limitations we're trying to put onto other people. So our focus, what's coming out of the matrix that's coming to our attention, coming to our mindset that we're needing to pay attention to in our business and our personal life, is where we are being too harsh in managing and controlling others. Okay, where is the damn wall too tight in holding back that flow of water, too restrictive, too penalizing? Where are we bitter and angry and resentful towards others? Where do we want to hurt and penalize others for not behaving and conforming to the system or to the process or the rules or the structure we have created? So it is a useful thing to think about this week. Ask yourself the question, where am I being overly pedantic, severe, restrictive in imposing rules on others? And especially, why am I so bitter in the situation? Why is my need to impose this restriction coming from a place of bitterness? Okay, so bitterness is an important word. Have your mind open to where in your life, in your business, in your team, do you hold this bitterness? And that is what we are needing to release and let go of. Because what happens when we apply austerity measures on others for too long, too hard, too restrictive, and we ratchet down and we put the pressure on and we get tough and we lay down the law and we put in place the rules, we get rebellion, okay? We get mutiny, all right? So if you've got a mutiny problem, if that's bubbling in your team and you just want discipline to be enforced and the process to be enforced and the rules to be enforced and it's grinding down the people around you, you are going to have some problems. Limit the harsh limitations. Okay. So this also relates to how we put in place boundaries for other people. We're too harsh in our boundaries. We're just putting in place a boundary to try and control our emotions and our relationship with other people, and they're really, really hard and they're really inflexible. Okay. Those are places we need to look at. Let's shine the light on the bitterness we all carry for something towards other people. And wherever we have that, let us make a choice to let that go. In the grand scheme of things, is that really helpful or is that really undoing everything that we are trying to achieve? Okay, so our second hexagram for this week, our second flow of change that we are working through as part of this process, is the one that follows 60, and that is 61, centered truth. The structure of this hexagram is beautiful. It's a beautiful hexagram about the heart. And you can see the structure of the hexagram in the center are two open female lines. Okay, the heart is open. And that is the strategy that it is calling us to work with. Open the heart. Line up how you feel about something with how you're behaving. The word congruence comes up for me in this hexagram and really brings us the awareness of what do we have to do to line up our inner and our outer and make our world resonant with who we really are, our outer and inner lining up. And for me, this hexagram, it comes to talk about truth. Centered truth is the name, and truth means understanding something with new eyes, getting to the core of something, getting to the heart of something. And the way that we get to the heart of something and we see something in a new way, in a way that we are desperately needing to see it, is we open up the heart and we say, right, brain, mind, you're a great pal, but sometimes you're a terrible friend. Sometimes I need to go and visit my old friend, the heart, and be open and to just listen to what I am feeling, what is happening around me, and what resonates. And you might just experience this week that you hear something, you learn something, you see something that just cuts through you like a knife through butter. And you get that feeling of like that moment of clarity where it just is like an open channel and you just see everything clearly for, even if it's just a millisecond. And that moment is what we're wanting to focus on this week, of being open to letting it come. Not to forcing it and going hunting that moment, okay? Because that's the whole opposite of what we're trying to do, is just open ourselves up, get to the heart, be close and open to who we really are, and sharing that with others. Being truthful, understanding truths, and seeing truth in a new way. And of course, truth as a concept is something that we are all working through as a society of human beings at the moment, trying to understand what is my truth versus your truth versus the truth. Okay, so that's our week. An interesting week where limitations are really, really important. I would say make a to-do list, okay? Break everything down into small mini projects. Take a piece of paper and write down everything that you're going through and put it into blocks and into categories. This is a hexagram that helps us to categorize and sort things into the places they belong as a means of controlling the flow that's happening around us. Okay, so get organized, put things into piles, organize things into tags and into categories, and tackle each thing one by one. Okay, and then of course, open to truth. Open your heart. Just be open to what you are really needing to see, feel, and understand this week that's going to help move you forward in the weeks to come. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe if you get value out of these episodes. Every like, every share makes a huge difference to me, and I thank you for that. I look forward to seeing you on the socials, and of course, I'll see you very soon at our next weekly episode.